It's a boat show here in Porto Cervo, Sardinia. The story goes that the Aga Khan was sailing his boat down this coast 40 years ago when a storm came up. Like us, he sought shelter in this bay, which was then undeveloped. He saw the potential of this area and organized a consortium to build this port, Porto Cervo, and they renamed the corner of this island the Emerald Coast, or Costa Smeralda. It's now one of the premier yachting centers of the world. Well, you can see that the ultra-rich have taken over this corner of Sardinia, but it's a big island, and we have an idea that there's a lot more to it if we can get inland. We want to travel down the eastern coast and go inland to a region called Barbaria that has never been conquered, even since the Romans over 2,000 years ago. I wanted to break away to see the world.
I longed for excitement, the romance of travel.
So we built a boat.
And now we travel the oceans. Join us as we voyage to distant shores. This northern corner of Sardinia, the newly christened Costa Smeralda, was developed under a set of rules that respects the natural environment and even follows the style of the original rural buildings of the area. No large hotel blocks here. And now there's not just one rich man's yacht, but many. Porto Cervo has become a magnet for millionaires, and in the summer season it is the place to bring your boat to be seen. Porto Cervo and the Costa Smeralda are located on the northeast coast of the Italian island of Sardinia, 112 nautical miles from the Italian mainland and 7 miles south of the French island of Corsica. We'll sail through this popular area of sheltered bays and coves, and then continue south along the mountainous and rarely traveled east coast, where we'll head inland and explore the isolated regions of Barbagia. But for now, there's a lovely breeze, and we're looking forward to a nice sail to the next anchorage. And we're not the only ones. From large boats down to small work boats, we're all enjoying this beautiful day. You don't have to be a millionaire to be out on the water.
We're just coming in between Tavellera Island here behind us and the mainland. It's quite wide, but it's very rocky all around, and the channel itself is quite narrow. So I'm just plotting the chart here, and Cheryl's taking a look around with the binoculars to check for rocks. The Costa Smeralda has lots of rocks and narrow channels that make it a challenging and fun area to sail. Once we're through the channel, there are several anchorages to choose from. We're going to savor our night here because for the rest of the journey south, there are very few protected bays or harbors to anchor in. Wonderful.
Further south, the high mountains of Nuoro province come right to the sea, and the coast we sail past gets more and more dramatic. Another 5 or 6 hours further on, we reach Calaganone, formerly a fishing village reachable only by boat. Now a road twists up the steep hills around the town, allowing us to get up into the mountains on this little scooter we've rented. This area has been populated since prehistoric times. From the end of the road, we're going to hike up into the mountains to the ancient village of Tiscale.
When the Romans conquered this island over 2,000 years ago, they were never able to subdue the people who lived in these mountains, the Gennargentu range, and you can see why. Even with the modern roads, we can barely get around into the innermost reaches of this area. The Romans called these people who lived here barbarians, and the name is still used today. This is called Barbagia. After 2 hours, we're at an altitude of 500 meters and can see why this was such a good place to hide. When invaders came, people abandoned their homes in the valley and sought refuge in these mountains from as early as 14,000 years ago. No one is certain when this huge hidden cave at the top of Mount Tiscali was first discovered, or what group first found shelter in this hollowed-out mountain, but the stone buildings that remain are from the time of the Roman invasion.
This enormous cavern in the mountains at Tiscali is an example of one of the ancients' hideouts when the Romans were here conquering the island. It housed an entire community. You can see the remains of 40 dwellings, plus 20 buildings here that would have stored food, housed cattle. There isn't a water supply here, so the people would have to go out or collect water off the walls. But basically, an entire community hid out here and remained unconquerable.
Man, that was a good hike. Almost 6 hours. I'm glad to be back on the boat and ready for a swim. On the way back though, stopped and picked up a local wine called a Cananau. They've been growing that here for 2,000 years. Keen to give it a try. But first, I need a swim. We have the Cananau wine, and we're going to give it a try.
It's a pretty color, nice and rich. To a great day.
Good hiking. Are you interested in the cruising lifestyle? Are you planning to sail away on a cruising adventure? Or researching cruising areas and destinations? Distant Shores is a television series about the cruising life, with lots of tips for sailors planning to sail away. This is Oswego, New York. We are entering the Erie Canal system, and this will take us all the way from Lake Ontario to the Hudson River, which gets us to New York City. Plus destination information to help you make your cruising plans. Yeah, I can stand on the bottom. We've been filming Distant Shores for nearly 15 years and know the fun and challenges of the cruising life. We've made Distant Shores with you in mind. We include plenty of cruising tips in this travel series, as well as lifestyle segments and hints for sailors heading to exotic destinations. Encouragement for you and your crew to get out cruising. Destinations include the Intracoastal Waterway, the Bahamas, Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Scandinavia, transatlantic passage making, the French canals, and more. This is the last undeveloped part of Sardinian coastline. It's 30-40 kilometers long from Calaganone down to Arbatax, the next port. The only way to get to any of these beaches is to rent a little boat or come here on your own. Although Sardinia is a Christian land, it clings strongly to its ancient rituals, especially up in the isolated communities in the mountains behind this coast, the heart of Barbagia.
Sardinia has hundreds of great festivals. We've been told the most important and popular is the Corsa dell'Ardia. So we're here in the little village of Sardinia, and as you can see, the crowds are gathering. What happens here every year is a great horse race in honor of San Costantino. Now, he's not really a saint, but actually the great Emperor Constantine. What we've been told is going to happen is 3 guardsmen carrying the banners of Costantino will come riding down that hill, and behind them will be about 100 other horsemen who will try to overtake the guardsmen. There's lots of excitement, lots of fun. We're all waiting to see what's going to happen. The crowds have been gathering all day. I think we're in for a real treat here.
The priest is the first official to approach the chapel on horseback, followed by a marching band.
It looks like the parade is coming to sort of clear the way for the horses. And they've also got a few guys with rifles banging them into the air, and I think that's a pretty effective way to clear the way. The horses are getting restless and they can't move all those people off the road. I think they're coming now. Oh my goodness! One of the horses rolled down the road.
He's up again. He's okay.
This is incredible. It's just such a feeling to see these horses running by.
After the dramatic race up to the church, the pace slows down. No one captured the banner, but they get another chance if they can sneak past the guards as they slowly march 7 times around the chapel. It's a good-natured competition, as almost 90 horses jostle to take the flag. The guardsmen give a gentle tap with their baton to keep them back. We've been sitting on the hill for a few hours now and decide to go down and grab a bite to eat. But there's no hamburgers and hot dogs at these food stands. What is all this stuff? There's such a variety of food we don't recognize that I tap one of the locals on the back and ask for help.
I speak in Sardinia, I don't speak in Italian.
I don't speak Italian either, sir.
Yes, but my language is Sardinian language, not Italian language.
Yes, it's quite different, isn't it?
Yes, this is different.
Canada. Canadese?
You come from Canada?
Yes. We sail here on a sailboat.
Tu parles français?
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu. Oh, increíble.
¿Habla español?
Sí, español también. ¿Tú hablas en español?
Poquito español.
Ah, entonces podemos hablar en español si tú prefieres.
Yeah, español es mejor con un barco.
Sí,
¿Tiene un barco a vela?
Sí, aquí en Italia. Bueno, ¿dónde?
En Sardinia es en Santa Teresa di
Santa
Gallo.
Teresa di Gallo.
So what is that?
Sí, the interior is good.
Interior?
Yeah.
I could order the back end of a pig, but I think I've ordered the inside of the pig.
¿No?
Did you want one, Sheryl? No, she doesn't. No. So, patata fritas.
Patata fritas. Oh, se fatti pure quella metà seggiata in,
So we'll try a little bit of this. This is nice. It tastes really good. Well, it kind of tastes like a sausage, but it's really got a pork taste, so it's very salty and pork on the outside. This part is like crackling of pork.
You're really going to eat that?
You never know what you're going to get to try.
I'm going to try the roast suckling pig, but I think I'll pass on the pig innards.
Aïe! Salut! Salut, Sardinia!
We like Sardinia.
See, the people in Sardinia are so nice.
So nice.
You are always welcome in Sardinia.
It turns out that our new friend Danilo is an architect and historical expert on the old civilizations of the island. The next day, he and Marcella take us out to see some buildings from the nuraghic culture, starting with this temple to the moon. This is Indiana Jones stuff.
So this was 4,000 years old, and it looks like new.
And what is in here? Water? Baking
Yes,
aqua?
water.
Sì, water.
Water would be in here.
Per l'abluzione, no? Sì, è importante,
But do you have any idea how they moved these stones? I mean, look at the size of these rocks. How did they move
Sì,
these?
guarda su anche. Su!
The Sardinian men, they're very strong.
Mister Universo, Franco Columbo.
That is the mystery. We don't know how they put these stones.
It's possible. Possible to
Yes.
go inside.
Oh,
Oh
guarda
my
questo.
goodness, it's gigantic.
Qui c'è la scala.
Oh,
Ecco la
there's
cupola.
even staircases in here to go inside.
It's
Now
incredible.
we're on the second floor.
Yes. It's incredible the muro, the rock is over the room because the room is very, very big, no? And first floor.
Yes. So it's strong to be able to hold the rock
Yes.
over it.
The design.
You see the design is incredible.
So it goes up even one level further, and this is 30,
30 metri.
Yes.
so 30 meters, almost 100 feet tall, and we're only up. This is only so now it's
Sì.
Yes.
Sì,
It's
così.
gone.
Così.
That is
So the top part is
Così.
all gone. Oh, suddenly. So
Cinque
it would have been
metri.
altogether 30 meters high. This building, incredible.
L'evento astronomico che avviene dentro il nuraghi.
Danilo says that the culture that built these had an amazing knowledge of astronomic events. This nuraghi was designed so that for just 10 minutes on the longest day of the year, the sun would shine in and light up this niche in the main chamber.
Tutto si illumina dei colori del sacerdote.
So you sit and the sun
Sì,
lights your
sì,
cigarette.
sì. Thank you, oh God. God.
Okay.
Ho rubato anche quello, però è più grande di questo, è intero, ci sono i due piani. Loro
I think
li ho
this is a
convinti
special
io a fare i
ritual for
nuraghi
going to
perché
the
non
reggae-
sapevano che
reggae.
esistevano i nuraghi.
This is the homemade wine of our architect tour guide today.
Facciamo conferenze, noi da poco eravamo mai.
That's a good one. It's vernaccia. Danilo tells us that there were once 15,000 nuraghis on Sardinia, each the center of a small village. Most are now in ruins, their stones used by following civilizations to make their own buildings. But still, there are many good examples remaining, and he takes us on to see another of his favorites. So these rocks are like 500 or 600 pounds, 300 kilos, right up on the top of the tower. So the project of building and pulling them all up here is just incredible. Danilo said he thinks it takes maybe 5 years for 3 men to build one of these. But they haven't been built in thousands of years. Now people don't even know how to do it.
This is Sardinia. This is my world.
Wow, what a night. We've been out looking after the lines. The wind is blowing something like, it's been up to 40 knots. Really, really blowing. There is a big forest fire running in the hills just up of the marina. You can smell it, it's in the air. You can see the smoke around here, but you can really smell a forest burning. It's such a nice hike there, just yesterday, and now the forest is on fire. It's terrible. As dawn approaches, the fire is brought under control, and the next morning we're proud to see a Canadian water bomber is brought in to douse the hills as well.
Another great way to get around the island of Sardinia is to use the network of narrow-gauge railways. And here in Arbatax, the train comes right into the port. So today, we're going to ride the rails into the mountains.
Just outside of town, we get a glimpse of just how close the fire came to the marina, and this house that narrowly escaped being engulfed by the flames. This old rail line was built in the early 1900s when there was almost no access into the Gennargentu Mountains. The track winds in and out of each valley so that after 3 whole hours, we are only 30 miles from the port, but have gone up 1,000 feet.
What a change of scene. It was so dry in Arbatax, we had the forest fire, and now just taking a short train trip to Sadali up in the mountains, we're surrounded by water. This is the town of fountains. I hope that's not who we're eating today. Oh no, it's his cousin.
We're at a local restaurant with our friends from the train and are getting to sample some Sardinian specialties. I think she's describing what we're having to eat here, showing how it's made. It's actually pasta filled with sheep cheese, pecorino, which is the sheep cheese.
Uh-oh. I picked up part of the jaw. You can see the teeth are still in it.
Oh, the meat is so good. I mean, this is the very last piece I left. I was eating so quickly. It was really the best pig I ever had.
The restaurant has laid on some traditional Sardinian music for lunch. Apparently, there is usually a singer to accompany the accordion, but today he is sick, so our musician is bravely doing double duty. The accordion is the instrument for Sard music, and this youngster from our table quits his lunch early to take a turn. The music and the party continue down at the train station as we wait for our ride back to the boat, the perfect conclusion to our visit to the Gennargentu Mountains and Sardinia.
With the right leg? Yes. 1, 2, and 6. 12.
I'll just split it. Okay, now we're putting
It's always the same. Yes.
Oh, I see. There's a little kick at the... Good thing I'm in good hands here. thing to do on a day on the railway. Dancing by the tracks, I would never have guessed it. Only in Sardinia.
Are you interested in the cruising lifestyle? Are you planning to sail away on a cruising adventure? Or researching cruising areas and destinations? Distant Shores is a television series about the cruising life, with lots of tips for sailors planning to sail away.
This is Oswego, New York. We are entering the Erie Canal system, and this will take us all the way from Lake Ontario to the Hudson River, which gets us to New York City.
Plus destination information to help you make your cruising plans.
I can stand on the bottom.
We've been filming Distant Shores for nearly 15 years, and know the fun and challenges of the cruising life. We've made Distant Shores with you in mind. We include plenty of cruising tips in this travel series, as well as lifestyle segments and hints for sailors heading to exotic destinations. Encouragement for you and your crew to get out cruising. Destinations include the Intracoastal Waterway, the Bahamas, Caribbean, the Mediterranean, Scandinavia, transatlantic passage making, the French canals, and more.